If you enjoy watching Common Ground online, please consider making a tax-deductible donation at lptv.org. Lakeland Public Television presents Common Ground, brought to you by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota.
I'm Joel Hamilton, and we're at Buena Vista's Fall Color Festival. I've been asked to volunteer and do some blacksmith demonstrations. So in a minute we'll start the forge, which is the box that heats the steel or iron, and we will hammer that iron on the anvil. Everybody knows that term. And we will manipulate that iron as needed. We'll make some crafts. I specialize in horseshoeing, so I will be making horseshoes and giving those out to kids. And as part of my daily work, I shoe horses and either purchase them and modify them or make them. I've been doing blacksmithing for 15 years and I was trimming before that, but then learned the art of the blacksmithing through the Minnesota School of Horseshoeing down in Anoka, Ramsey, Minnesota. I found out about that school through some research and a magazine ad, and knew I wanted to learn more about horseshoeing as a trade and continue learning through continuing education through the American Farriers Association as well as the Minnesota Farriers Association. And so it's an art that I will continually be working at and a science that I will continue to study. I enjoy taking a foot that has grown misshapen, or awry we call it, and I enjoy changing that foot and its structures and the way that it bears weight, and to improve the shape of the foot and improve a proper, more balanced blood flow, a more even and healthy foot. And in the process, I get to work with the horse owners. Most of them love their horses very much, and it's very enjoyable to have a relationship with them as well. Some of my customers have been with me for 15 years, and it's always interesting that there's new customers and new horses, and I do basically the same thing each day, but with minor differences and kind of the attention to detail. Blacksmithing is a wonderful trade, and there's groups you can join for that. And farriery is a viable trade and a business of itself, and much needed for the horse and the health of its foot and the overall longevity of the animal. There's a high number of horses in the state of Minnesota and always a need for farriers. And so value us as we try to do our best to care for those animals. And don't forget that it's part of our community and a necessary trade to enjoy our horses.
Today is the Fall Color Rides, and each year I teach a class for kids, and it's carving axes, and every year I come up with a new design, a new different axe. As you can see, I have quite a variety of axes that I do every year, and this year the kids get to do a small hatchet. It's getting tougher and tougher every year as I've been here more years and more years to find unique shapes, and it's really rather a lot of fun. And when the kids are basically done, they take their axe and they glue it into a stump once they get home, and they have a little keepsake to put on their shelf forever if they like.
That one? Want that one? Okay.
Here at the Fall Festival, kids come in, we have signs out front, they can come in, they can either take the project with them and take it home and work on it, or work on it here in the caboose. The caboose is kind of fun because we have the wood stove, we have the rumble seats where the kids can work, and it's just fun to give the kids a nice little keepsake of logging history. It's too bad we can't use real knives, but it takes away the cutting, and after all, sandpaper is like a knife, so it's rather enjoyable. It used to be in the winter for logging days, and this is the first year I've done it for the fall colors, but this is my 15th year teaching a class for children in the caboose. It's almost a perfect setting for them, so it's such a unique setting for them. I don't think the kids realize what the history is behind them, but the parents do, and this is a perfect spot. I cut them out. I have a scroll saw, and what I'll do is nail together 3 pieces of wood at one time, and then so on my scroll saw I'll cut out one project, which is really 3. You've done that before. Yeah, I can tell. I brought 106 of these little axes, and I can never guess how many kids I'll have, but it covers them pretty good where I don't run out. What's fun about this project and using sandpaper is sometimes when we're so busy in here we can't physically help them or do it, and they're doing it themselves. It acts as a dual, parents participating with the kids themselves, parents doing activity with the children. So that's another little added plus that I really like. The younger kids have so many distractions now, and people see that in the activities and sports and things like that. And for me here at Fall Colors, they're recreating history, and I can't be more proud to be part of that recreation. And I came up with the idea of carving with kids, and the axe die idea came to my head. And I made the mistake of telling one boy the very first year that, hey, come back next year, I'll do a new axe. And that boy came back for 5 or 6 years, and all of a sudden it became a challenge for me. And to recognize and know a lot of the kids year to year, and they say, oh, I did this one, I want to do this one. Or I have a little brother that's home and they really want to take another one home. I really rather like that. It makes me feel really good that they have a little keepsake that they actually finished off themselves. So it really makes my day. I look forward to it every year.
My name is Leroy Stenstrom. I've lived in Bemidji all my life, and I'm part of this Logging Days celebration for the last 25 years or so. And I come out here to be with my dad's paintings because he was an artist and a logger and a sky pilot, which is a minister, and I'm just here to help this program and show the art that he produced. I bring some of the art from my home and some of the art that was produced for the Dickinsons and their logging in the area to record history. I come out just to be kind of security for the artwork and also to talk to the people and explain how they got produced. Artwork that my dad produced are oil paintings, mostly on plywood, but how they got started in the first place, my dad was doing some work for Leonard Dickinson. They used to log together and they built a lot of grain bins, and he got hurt by a ladder breaking, and so he had to be home convalescing for that. And Leonard asked him to paint some logging pictures, and he painted quite a few of them. According to Leonard Dickinson, who started Buena Vista and the logging camp, and then taken over by his son Earl, the account of this is right spot on as far as accuracy of how things were set up and how they were done in those time periods. So now it's recorded history.
The fall color rides here at Buena Vista has been going on for many years. However, we've incorporated what used to be logging days into the theme this fall. I believe that the color this year is probably the most magnificent we've had in years. We have 6 teams giving rides, and we have people selling wares and demonstrating different things. We have the wood carver, we have the blacksmith shop, we have people in the side that are doing their show, selling their wares and stuff. It's just a tremendous item to see people out here and enjoying the beautiful weather. We were a little scared when we got up this morning and looked out, and it was pretty damp, but it didn't rain, so we're pretty happy. And I was talking with a fellow that was here earlier that said, well, Wendell, he says, I do believe that you got 5 hours of sunshine coming, but then I can't guarantee any more. We've had a good turnout so far. People are enjoying it, the teams are having a ball. It's just a great time. I've been involved with this since the 90s. I just love horses. I like people. And what's more fun than people and horses? I believe that the most important part of this show is that it brings people together. People get to see horses that they've never maybe been on a wagon ride before. The colors, the highest natural point of land in Beltrami County, and you just see people getting off and they're all smiles. Somebody said, well, yeah, it's a little rough. And I said, yeah, it shakes your breakfast down. I believe that the reason we have such good luck with the wagon rides is that the wagons that were used was only mode of transportation for their ancestors. Now I know that my parents and my grandparents, that's all they had was horses and a wagon and a sleigh in the wintertime. We never drove a car in the wintertime. My dad put the car up on blocks, probably because he couldn't afford to buy antifreeze for the radiator. But we drove a team and sleigh to wherever we went. We'd go to the school programs, we'd go over to the neighbors and do card games. They'd bundle us up in the bottom of the sleigh and put a horse blanket over us, maybe heat up some rocks and put in the bottom of the sleigh. That's the way we went. Never knew any different. One of the benefits of coming to the fall color rides is that you'll never see anything like it. It is absolutely marvelous to go on top of that hill and look out over one lake and watch the water flow to the Gulf of Mexico. Turn your head to the left, look out over Lake Julia, watch the water flow to the Hudson Bay. There is nothing any more prettier than that spot up there on the hill.
If you enjoyed this segment of Lakeland Public Television's Common Ground, consider making a contribution at lptv.org.